Oh boy. So this wasn't a video I was planning on filming today, or really ever for that matter. Why am I moving my fish tank? Moving it, draining it, sliding it to the other side of my room. Why? Well, let me tell you. I was so excited because I finally got a timer to put my fish tank lights on so I wouldn't have to switch them on and off every day. Hi, Cusco. But it doesn't fit in the gap between my tank and the wall. So that's a bummer. I was gonna do a deep clean today anyway, so I'd rather drain it and move it now before, don't regurgitate on my pillow, then have to come back and do this later once I've added more things to my tank. I'm also not feeling great today. For those of you that didn't follow me here from Instagram, you might not know this, but I have endometriosis, so I'm flaring right now. I don't feel good. You can kind of see it on my face. Just not feeling the best. But this has to get done, and today's my day off, so this is when it's gonna happen. So let's sit back, relax, and watch me putter around my room, making myself miserable for a bit. Alright, so as you can see right now, my tank is pretty gross. Got some major algae issues going on here. Part of this is because my tank is next to a window, but I've mentioned in previous videos that my apartment is mostly windows, which is really great to look at, but not so great if you have a fish tank. So kind of perpetually battling algae, but this is by far the worst it's ever been. So I'm going to be doing a deep clean of this today and moving it at the same time. I just pulled it out to move him, and he is not happy that I woke him up. He's just, look at those anger eyes. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. God, he's so chunky. So in here is kind of where I keep my cleaning supplies and sometimes garbage and so on. We all have those days. So I need to empty all this out because this furniture is pretty heavy on its own, never mind with a fish tank and full of salt. So in here I've got a kitchen scale for weighing the birds and sushi, got some bird toys, all that good stuff. So that I'm actually going to keep, so that's going to go in the keep pile. This is salt. This is my salt. So obviously I'm going to need that today, so that can come out. So many bird toys. This is also salt. I use Instant Ocean. Definitely not the best salt, but definitely not the worst. I haven't had any issues with it, but I know everybody has their preference. This is some old filter floss that is full of algae and sadness, so that is going in the garbage pile. Okay, so the next thing that needs to come off is this shelving space right here. So in here I have some backup batteries for the bird lights. I have this beautiful little photo set of my first dog, Zorro, who's pretty much the main reason that I'm still so involved in animals. Yeah, props to you, old boy. This is a little projector that rotates around and looks like galaxies at night because I'm 5. And then down here is my carbon, my phosphate remover, some food, some prime, all that stuff. So this is where we're at. I'm hoping that this will be the last bucket. I'd like to not have to drain this down the whole way, especially with my clowns in the tank here. If they start to look a little upset, I might pull them, just because I didn't realize how much stuff was going to get stirred up here, which is entirely my fault. That was just a bit of a rookie move on my end, but they seem okay so far. Both of them have bitten me more than once. Not hard, just out of curiosity for the most part, and then kind of went back about their day. This is the damage so far, and then I'll show you up top since they're chilling up there. Wow, Cusco. part of the reason I'm moving this tank as well is so that I'll be able to have easier access to the back side here and make it a little bit cleaner back there. That's actually the side that's going to be facing my bed, hopefully, if we ever get moved here. Okay, so I dragged that tank all the way over to the other side of my room and then decided to replace my carbon while I'm at it in my filter, just because mine's too old. We're not going to talk about how old it is. And then I realized, oh, this is so embarrassing because I work at a damn pet store, but I realized that I totally got the wrong size stupid carbon. So this is the one I got. You would think that I would be able to read. Apparently that is not the case. So that's a pretty substantial size difference. So this is my old one. This is what is supposed to be the new one. So not quite sure what I'm gonna do about that yet. All right, this isn't gonna be a full room tour because I am actually exhausted, but everything is done. So I ended up moving my bookshelf here, moving my bed in this whole process just to make things a little bit organized and help everything fit better. It's a problem when all your animals live in boxes. So this is my tank now, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I have all of my stuff back down there. I also moved my crested gecko stuff down to this side right here, so it's a little bit easier to reach and everything's in one place. Plus, now I can see the whole way around my tank. And the coolest part about this is I honestly didn't know the back of my tank existed. So I did not know that there's this little crevice under here, which is where the clowns have been hanging out, and they've been cleaning it pretty meticulously. There's also this whole little, I don't even know if you can see it, but there's a hole up in here. So this piece juts out quite a bit, and then underneath there's all these nooks and crannies, and that's actually where my firefish has been living, and I can even see where he's dug himself a little spot. This is also the corner that's hardest for me to get algae-wise. So still pretty dirty. I didn't want to do too much to it today where I was draining it and moving it. It's still filtering back out. They're so saucy, oh my gosh. Anyway, so I have all this tank real estate that I completely have not seen one time since establishing this tank. So I'm really excited to play around with this when it comes time to add some corals. It does get more light than it did, but I mean, lighting is already such an issue for me in this apartment that, like, I'm pretty over it. I'm like, it's already a problem, so whatever, I'll deal. Anyway, so tank is there now. Some people find this particular tank loud. I don't. It's been next to my bed from day one, so I just kept it there. Still need to go around with the mag float and get that algae on the glass, but I'm pretty happy with it. I just needed to tap out. I'm exhausted. And then over here is where Sushi is now living. He's not super stoked, but this plant was originally in that corner. Hi, Cusco. This plant was originally in that corner, and I just moved it and just put his tank there. It just opened up the room a little bit. We'll see how this plant does in this corner because I rely on this lamp quite a bit. So if it blocks too much light, then I might have to move it, but I don't know. We'll give it a shot. My favorite part of this setup, though, is this, my bed. It is now closer to the window, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Oh, nice. And it's also hella cozy, and I'm exhausted, and it's, you know, 2 o'clock, and I started this at 11, so I'm actually gonna crawl in there for a bit. So consider this your outro. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, my firefish is out. Pause game. And he's back in. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Here's my gross tank. It's a work in progress, and I will see you next time.